Hello everyone, Kenty Tiger here with Bengali Engineering and Play. We are back in the Last Caretaker. I made a discovery. So originally I was going to get right up to docking, and things changed. So here's what I discovered. You can see it right underneath the solar panel on the starboard side, on the stern. So magically it has reappeared. So even though we are still 2 kilometers out and I'm at 100% throttle, I'm going to try and pick this thing up. So here it is. It does say grab. Wow. So we might have gotten a 2. I don't know that for sure, but let's try and get it into one of these magical things. Try this one. Alright, so there are 2, which is good. 2 means I can put those 2 through the process, and then I will have 3 to send off because, as I mentioned in the previous episode, I guess we'll call it episodes. I did have, I just want to, no, I can't see it. F. I have 24 minutes. And something broken up here, so yeah. Alright, back to the pilot house. Thankfully we're coming up to daytime, but I'm not seeing the dock, so maybe the dock is on this side. Or maybe I'm just seeing things and the dock really is on this side, because that's the out. Okay, sorry to get you all seasick there. It's hard to tell where the water line actually is, but it really looks like the dock is on this side, so we're going to come in on this side. If we have to circle around, then we will. So we're still right around 1 kilometer out, and that thing looks already huge, so that's... For those of you who have not actually gotten to the Lazarus Complex, it's pretty big. It's very involved. What I have not done, which I really want to do, is go back up to the roof and actually rip off the wind turbines and put on solar. I've already got a lot of batteries, but I will probably put more in just for the sake of having more in. Again, it's because the wind turbines degrade so quickly, which I think is bug. Don't know that for sure, but the fact that it degrades so profoundly fast, absurdly fast. So when I was repairing, I used to have 4 of them on the Black Vein station, which is the oil platform, and I mean Black Vein if that doesn't give it away. And I literally went through 1, 2, 3, 4, repaired, and just because came back around to number 1, and it already was down 1%. I'm pretty much in all the facilities I revisit. So you can see right off the port bow there, there's the lower area of power. So there's 4 turbines there and 3 solar panels. So those all need to change as well. So you basically end up with 2 different areas for power. Okay, down to 5th throttle. Let's go down to... There's 10% throttle, bare steerage way here, and it's getting really laggy because, which is true of Lazarus Complex and Exodus Station, because they're so large. So they really do have a very hard time, keeping everything drawing. So even though I think it's still running at 20 frames a second, but it's getting totally laggy for me. I think you can see it a bit on the video, how laggy the frames are. So I seem to be coming in here pretty good. I'm gonna go right rudder here, just a hair. Okay. I'll stop. We're going to jump out. We're going to go down the stairs. We're going to grab onto cable and see if we can. I'm going to just grab this one here. So that's a mooring cable. We're going to literally jump if we can jump and connect. So we are going a bit quick still, but hopefully that will bring us in. Oh, the lag. Oh, man. So, gonna grab this one. Go. Oh, laggy. Connect. So, that was reasonably a smooth docking, so it should pull the boat back a little bit, pull it right up on the fenders, and once we're there, we're pretty much as stable as we're gonna get. So what I'm gonna do is go back up to the pilot house and drop anchors, because anchors are not dropped. Now they will drop automatically when you get a certain distance away from the boat, which is actually a good thing to know. So here's your drop anchors, E. I don't know why it says drop anchor self, because I don't have an anchor. At least not that I know of. Would be a neat trick. So once you drop your anchors, so what I like to do when I'm mooring is get the mooring cables across. They pull your boat up to the pier, up to the dock. And then you drop the anchors, and then pretty much your boat is there. So even if, so they're still having some issues where if I drop out and load from a save, speaking of, the mooring cables let go. Now the good news is with everything at anchor. Okay, so we're gonna try. We're going to save into slot 6, which is what we have been saving into. And if we are successful with slot 6, remember we had 24 minutes right before we docked. Oh, man. Okay, we were, I guess we did in backup 7. So we know that was good, but sorry. Just going to overwrite number 7. It looks like it's okay. All right. Okay. So crouch. We have 20 minutes. So that was 40 minutes of adventure. So we're going to go ahead and go out, and I apologize that it is so entirely laggy. This is just ridiculously laggy. All right. Put this there. Okay, what I always do when I come here, now we are on pure Lazarus power here. On the good news, I can pull ship's power. I do have that over here. So this was water and power. Right over here. So obviously I was moored forward, but you know, same thing. I can always move these, but so I can hook up water and everything. These keep the slugs from invading your space. That's their only purpose, and I've just left them there. All right, let's see if it's too laggy to jump. Nope. All right, so that was one, and get. I'm going to set this outside because what I don't know is, did it just conveniently go to the one in the back? And I can't see that one, so I don't know. I'm still not seeing it. Let me move this one out of the way. F to rotate. No, it's empty. All right. Sucks, but it is what it is. It's never mind. There is no words for what happened during the last episode. So this episode will be a little more involved, and the reason I say involved is because the goal here is to get these into the generation machines. I don't know what to call that. Okay, so we have a seed and a seed. So we did manage to somehow get. Okay, I've got 20 minutes. If one of them magically appeared on the boat, let's just do a search of the boat and see if they happen to be somewhere. All right, I don't think I had anything forward here, but I'll go ahead and look. I can't begin to explain this, and my guess is once I grab this, oh, yeah, it'll drop back to the deck. Yeah. Once we get them in the machines, then we can come back and reasonably repair the ship, which I do want to do. And we do have a 10-minute window once we get all the memories and everything fed into there. So there's a lot of poop floating in the water there. All right, so I saw this appear over on this side. So the question is, did the other one end up back here somewhere? No. Of course, I'm underneath the solar panel. Or possibly, did it end up below decks? So one of the things I've seen is folks putting twin tanks above the engines on each side. So from a purely weight design engineering perspective, I think that would be really, really good. I would have to move these connectors and this stuff, get it out of the way, just because when you have stuff in the way, it'll paste, but it won't actually build. So my thoughts are, even though I would have to plumb diesel through here, it may be a way to get 2 more tanks on each side. So right now I have 8 tanks. So there's 2 port, 2 starboard on the bow, and there are 4 right up here. So 8 extra tanks total for diesel. So that would make 12 tanks total, plus the 2,000 liters you have in the tank on board. So don't know, might be interesting. So and again, I apologize for the laggy. This is the only game only game that I play that it does that on this machine. Even though the machine is 11 years old, it's not a new machine. But it has always performed really very nicely for me. And the mattress is gone again. That may be just shadow because I've got everything set to as low as it goes, because otherwise it won't play. Alright, so mattresses. That's my third mattress. Gone. Okay, well, while I'm here, let's pull this out. Oh, come on. Oh, my boat's okay, but I think I repaired the boat. Alright, so, not here. I was going to jump up on the engines, but maybe I will, just because. Just to see. Not here. And not here. Alright, so doesn't look like we got anything there. Alright, up, and we've got them on the elevator already. So once we get everything in there, I need to repair the ship. And then I suppose we will start rebuilding some of the stuff. I suppose that would make for a decent enough episode. Because it would somewhat be a tour of the Lazarus Complex as I've done it. Of course, everybody who's done the Lazarus Complex has done it a little bit differently. Alright, so we are literally just running forward here. I don't have a whole lot of stuff in my inventory, so I'm not totally overburdened, but what I want to do is get them in, then we'll go back to the boat first. We'll do a save, and then okay, we'll put this over here just because. Walk it up the thing onto the pad. Once we drop it, it will go in. We back off, and you see the seed go up into the machine. Now, it will only do that if the machine is on and you have proper power and water. Now, one of the things you notice here is water. I have a water problem, so I should not be empty. These things have been running for hours and hours and hours, so, but I do see water coming up, but not a whole lot. So there should be a whole lot more water. So you can see the intensity of these is much less than it should be, and that's even less still. So we definitely have a water problem. So what I want to do is let's get the other pod into a machine which stops the timer. So once it's in the machine, it's safe. The seed is safe. So you can actually dawdle all you want at that point. So this here is actually power to the lights. So even though alright, so the OCD says in the interim of not having water that I should plumb the water in from the ship, and I think I will do that. So we've got two tasks now. One is to get water plumbed in, because that will be an alternate supply. Two is to repair the boat, because I've got a lot of damage on the boat. We know that already. We don't know how much damage from it flying around and going into orbit, but there's damage there. There's also the damage which may or may not remain from... Okay, so that is up. We should see the seed go in. Okay, it did go in. I didn't see it go up, but apparently it did. Alright, let me just verify this one. Make sure it looks the same. I don't remember seeing the human thing. Yep. Okay. So I think we are safe from the timer at this point. I'm gonna hope we are. We've got a lot of work to do with those, but we obviously have a water crisis rather than going down and repairing, which we will. Is the matter of actually figuring out what's going on here. So I know I have a good water supply on the ship. We will go down on the boat. We will go down and plumb that in. We'll also plumb in electricity just for the sake of plumbing in electricity. I have 10 batteries on the ship, so it actually does pretty well. I think I have 25 batteries here on Lazarus Complex. But I don't know that. Okay, so we're gonna do a couple things. What do I have in inventory? Junk. So this bio flesh, it was from the shark probably, or from, sorry, that was from the angel. I'll show you what this refines into, but you can go, let's go to build. Well, of course we won't see them here. So let me go into the skills menu instead, and I'll at least show you where those are. So if we go all the way down to the bottom here, there's these four, and you notice nanite, nutrient, bioregulator, all of those things, mitochondrial amplifier, all of those things require stuff. Nutrient, all of these that require stuff that come from refining that bioflesh. So as many of those as you can do, and sometimes you just have to go out shark hunting or angel hunting, and you know, it sounds horrible, I know, but all right. So what we're doing here is I need iron and plastic, and the reason I need iron and plastic is what is used to create. So we've got good spattering here. So I'm going to split. I'm going to take that one as is, and we're going to split. So that means we can do 48 extenders. At the same time, let me go back into tab. I'm going to remove this weapon from my inventory because I do not need it anymore on me. As I'm saying that. So I tend to get rid of the mines. So mines obviously are a navigational hazard. We have 3 of them in view, and there's probably another 4 of them in view. So let us take care of these guys. Now, when you do that to the mines, there's all that stuff in the water. Those are parts you can harvest. So there's stuff out there. Not usually really useful stuff, but stuff. Okay, that one's way out there. I don't know whether I'll be really successful with this one or not. Alright, and then we have this one that's... Oh, that's a buoy. Okay, I'm not going to swim to that one, but normally I would. Alright, so I'm going to go up onto the ridge wings, and that's just to give me a better angle on that one. That's the last of the mines around into the scope. That's a right click. by the way, is to align you with the scope, and then left click will fire. Now, I highly recommend, laggy. I highly recommend, and right click again to get back to the normal. When you're using any of your rifles, before you put it away, do a reload. There's nothing worse than you're facing a bunch of enemies, you need it, you run to the chest, you grab it, and you think, hey, I've got rounds in the weapon, and you put it up, and nope, you've got 3 rounds left. And then you have to go back to the chest, find, you know, wherever any of the ammo spares that you happen to have. It's painful. So just save yourself the hassle. Whenever you put your weapon away, do a reload. Save you the hassle. All right. So open container. That's where this was. Whoa, there's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of poop. Oh, and of course, tab, which will get us into our personal inventory, so we can remove this, which will then E to enter the hold, and we will dump that in there. I'm going to queue all these. So queue is a transfer stack. You have to kind of dig into... Came over. You kind of have to dig into the keybinds to actually find that, but Q. So remember Q. Okay, so this is going into the diesel. I don't want to send that in, so... Oh, that's it. Alright. So if I can reach that, I don't know if I actually can turn it... there we go. Turn it on. Because I burned quite a bit of diesel. So, oh my. That's already full, so I'm going to stuff. I'm going to put that in here. Oh, that's so loud, sorry. Nothing I can do about that. I've already got my master turned down and the auxiliary. Oh, and that's full. So as you can see here, you can do poop farming. And in fact, this dock is absolutely perfect for poop farming. So what I need to find is, where did I put... I think I put it up here. Nope, clearly I didn't. Okay, I have a flamethrower, and it might have been in that chest there. But we're up here, so what I want to do... Laggy. Okay, so that tank is okay, that tank is okay, that is okay, that's okay. That's okay. These are positioned horribly, by the way. So the problem is, when these things have spun around and they're actually facing starboard, you can't get up this ladder. You will come face first into those panels, and it bites. So just for taking that. Another tidbit is, as your tanks degrade, they hold less. So, for example, this one's at 97%, give or take. It will not go up to 2,000. So, if you are only watching the quantities which are in that, it will drive you absolutely nuts, because none of the things are equalizing. So, just remember that. Alright, so I guess those can't damage. And we already checked the ship. The ship is okay. So I'm going to check in here, because we dealt with the angel. Batteries are the same. They will not go to the top if they are damaged. 1% down. That one's okay, that one's okay, and that one's okay. That one needs some repair. And that one needs some repair. Alright. Swing around to the aft. Check this one. I think it's okay. We'll check the water purifier. It is okay. The pump repairs with the boat. There's a water tank, there's a water tank. Thankfully those are both full. A little bit of repair here. Alright, so not bad at all. We'll go inside. Now, if I were smart, I would have hooked up water already and then come in and done this, because this takes time and we could already be filling the tanks in there. These also you cannot dismantle. They're part of the boat, so they will repair with the boat. And I don't think those crates can take damage, so I don't think there's anything else here. I don't know if the bed can take damage or not. Probably not. Couches. Those were from the original station, by the way. The Sanctuary 37. I stole all the couches, and a couple of the couches have gone away. One of the couches phased through the deck at some point. Alright, so 5 to turn that off, because I've got that in the first slot. Alright, I need to find my weapons. So these are, this might be spoiler, all of these. So these are the modules that go onto your fabricator. These are all freebies. You get these, you get a bunch of these, anywhere from 1 each or 2 each to 6 each on all of the capsule drops. So when you launch a rocket, the humans send a capsule back as your reward. You get these in the rewards, along with coffee seeds, which I haven't figured that part out. I'm thinking that food processor is where you make soil, because you have to have soil to plant them. I haven't done that yet, so that's part of the discovery. It may be, I've seen people who actually put in an entire garden on the roof of Lazarus Complex here. So all right, so let us, where did I put that? I think maybe it's in here. Yep. So this is just pieces of each type, and all of my biomass, bioflesh goes here, because those convert to the highest stuff. I'm going to throw all the scrap into the machine here. I'm not going to turn it on just because. This is another thing, this does not have a weight limit. So most containers, you see, you know, X kilograms, usually 100. This has 16 slots. So you can put as much stuff in those 16 slots as will fit. All right, so that's down to my base inventory. But I've lost my weapons. I have a flamethrower and a tank, and I have no idea what I did with them. Damn it. There's my electric rifle. I learned something watching videos, that you can actually hold. Those are all of my ammunition. Those are the coffee seeds. You'll get a random number of them. So this is 4 flights. This is another resultant. So sharks, when you grind them down, you'll get 1 or 2 ultras. 1 or 2 ultras will give you, as you can see here, neutronium and plasma gel. You'll get 1 of each. So for every one of the ultra tech scraps that you run through the recycler, you'll get 1 neutronium and 1 plasma gel, and you don't need a lot of those. So I've just saved a lot of these, but if you go shark hunting, then that's a really good source of ultra scrap, because you'll have 1 or 2 in each shark. Plus you'll get the bioflesh, which you convert when you're doing the food. You'll see where that came into play here in a few minutes. All right, so I have that's that. So this is Exodus Station, and I'll probably say this when we get to that episode, but Exodus Station, so the easiest way to do CO2 at the Sabatier reactor is to put a small generator on it, and the generator generates electricity. It's the small petrol generator. So it's generating electricity, which is fine and dandy, great. But I've got enough producers of electricity, so it's not a big deal. But it's producing CO2, which is what the Sabatier reactor needs to create the methane. It can create the oxygen from the water, but it needs the carbon dioxide to create the methane. So the key is, how do we power this thing? So you start out with oil, but in the end, you need petrol. So I generate petrol here on the ship. I think these are full. Yeah. So I take, so you remember the small canisters of petrol. The small canisters of most anything are 200 liters. So if you think 10 of those is a tank, a fixed tank. So you can fit 10 of those, they're 10 kilos each, into the store tight container, because that handles 100 kilograms. So there's 10. So 10 times 10 is 100. So you can put an entire tank full of petrol into this box and then carry that box really easily. Even if you have put no points into your hydraulics, you can carry this box. So fully loaded, you can carry that box. So that's what I do on Exodus Station. So that gives me a tank full to basically drive. So here's the downside, and you see a lot of equipment, and this is just, I think, early access bugs. So you notice the pump is running, it's burning electricity, and this is running, so you see water flowing into it, but there's no water flowing out. So this guy is powered, the pump is powered, but it's not actually producing anything. So to me, it should go into standby, which is that, blink yellow. And the diesel generator and petrol generator, I feel, should do the same thing. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to do this. Okay, so we've gone through and checked. Oh, what I have not checked, sorry. We'll check this. Here is my last thing to check. For some reason, I'm just not quite. Okay, that one's okay, that one's okay, and that one's okay. Let's try and get to this one. I don't know why that's always so painful. Okay, and that one's okay. So I think that's everything on the boat. So I think the boat is okay. Alright, so back to where we were going. I have all the different hoses and everything in here. So I think 79 will be enough, and yes, we're going to come back and see if I can find my damn weapons. Don't know where I put them. So what we need to do here is we're going to connect. We're going to come up to right here just because. And we're going to, so you see fabricate cable extender is a left click. That comes up with most everything. Okay, I can't, it won't let me do that on the top there. So we'll put it on the top of the stairs. We'll go ahead and so this is obviously a bug. So if one of them is being generated and you create another one, it will actually put them there. The only way to get rid of that second one is to grind it down. And as far as I can tell, they will not actually connect and do something for you. So, all right, so there are, oh damn it, there are way too many things associated with E, and if you read on Discord, you'll find there's been a lot of people that have said basically the same thing. So it's been reported, you know, a dozen times. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come straight across. I recommend you come at an angle, and the reason for that is it doesn't really matter here, but in heavy seas, if you have a... So these cables are not stretchy. They look stretchy, but they're not. Once you paste them in and they're connected end to end, that is their length. So if you exceed a meter differential, right, they will stretch up to a meter. When they exceed that, so for example, if you paste down 3 meters, this looks like it's 3 meters because it says water cable 3 meters, right? You have a certain amount of play in there. So everything from that demarcation of 2 meters to 3 meters, right? So the bottom of 3 meters to the top of 3 meters, that's your entire stretch. So the problem is when you're in high seas and the ship is bouncing up and down, these will break, which is to say they will come off. So if you're depending upon these to do something for you, they may disappoint you. Okay, so E to paste this. Oh, come on. Q to get rid of it. So what I'm doing here is creating a lateral, even though the ship is not going to move up and down at this particular dock. And then we're going to string this all the way to the other end. I'm hoping I can get there with one. Yeah, we will. And I'm going to plumb that in right there. It's not doing anything. Why is it not working? Alright, so one of the things I have discovered as I've gone along is that these will randomly disconnect, and it's frustrating as hell, but you literally have to trace to everything and find out what the hell happened. So I have no idea what's going on there. So that goes all the way up. So that looks connected good. So these, so that's the one up, that's this one. All of those are looking good. up through the bulkhead. All good. Down. Alright, I'm not seeing it. Oh. How about connect to the right damn port? So, all right. So here's what OCD requires. Fabricate. So we'll put one here. Q will. So let's Q and just get rid of that one. That one will generate that one. We will take that one and attach it on there. Grab this one, attach it on here, and then grind this one. Okay, sorry, that was my OCD moment. There will be more. Alright, so that got that to where it needed to be. Alright, so minor connection problem, but we are now pulling water off the ship. The only thing we need to do now is to turn back on the pump and the water purifier, which I turned off. Now that it actually has a function. Only take us a second to do that. So you can see those 360 lights are actually pretty damn bright. Now I can plumb in the electric. So this is diesel and electric. So what I will go ahead and do, just because I may not have enough cable, plumb in electric. Oh, it's charging the ship's batteries. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Okay, so see how they're jumping up? So you can basically go an entire night and just farm to your heart's content, and you keep your back to the light. See how many of them there are? Now if you so I'm gonna go into the build menu. If you do the eclipse, now this thing will go through your battery really quickly, but once you create this and you put it in, it's bright as hell and it will kill those guys. Just you shine it at them and then blip, done. So you wait until there's 50 of them on the dock in front of you, and you turn your eclipse on and it kills them all. You just sweep over the top of them, they're dead, and you harvest the poop. You spend a couple nights doing that, and you have a bin full of poop. So for what that's worth. All right, gotta go over here, turn this on. We'll sneak in over here. I do need to find my weapons, although I don't think I will actually need my weapons for anything. I'm really curious now as to where the heck they are. Where did I put them? So let's go to the front. Oh, here's another one that's a little weird. Grab cable. Grab cable. Doing weird things. Poop in the water that you get during the daytime, otherwise you'll, I was going to say be a part of the poop, but I won't do that. Okay. So this is the resultant of you just run out of space. So on the one side is it's very practical to have just grabbed everything that's not bolted down. On the other side is it does take a bit of effort. All right, so this is the example. So there's 8 of them here, so I've got room for 10, but so this is diesel. This is like my spare, but 8 times 200, we can do the math here, that's 1600 liters. That's almost a full tank in that box. So we have this and we have this. So that was my spares. All right, so maybe that is in the corner over here. I really don't know. And while I'm here, okay, so we know it's not in this one. Laggy as hell. Open container. There they are. All right, so we got to put this one back when it comes to Exodus Station. So we'll take that. I want this back, and then we're gonna start putting more biomachine. You can tell how sometimes, as several of my friends tell me, you have the patience of a saint. Before and during, and even to today, I used to counsel. I used to be a juvenile counselor. That was a bit before and after my naval career, but and during my naval career, for that matter. All right, put those back in there, just because. So, when it comes to counseling, you really do need a lot of patience. All right, we'll back out of that. We'll go into inventory, which is tab. We will equip. And we're going to do another thing down here. If we right-click, we can actually select which slot. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to go to action bar 4. My torch is, of course, here, and we're going to take the flamethrower and we're going to put it back over here. Now, unfortunately, when it's in your inventory, so let's remove, it does not show you how full or empty it is. So in this case, it is, I think, full. So I did the right thing and filled it before I put it away, and this is the same thing. I filled the tank before I put it away. The flamethrower is just absolutely awesome. So you can see they have already deposited quite a bit of poop on the deck for us to collect. All right, up we go. So we've got water and power, which at this point is actually going onto the ship, so that's kind of cool, I guess. So charging some batteries. I see a cable going up that's doing one of those mysterious stiff board things. All right, up we go. So we know water's coming in. Good solid supply of water coming in. So the question is what's happening down below, and what we may need to do is go find some stuff. So the good news is we've got a really nice supply of water coming in. The problem is, you can see this is the positive, which is to say in the equilibrium we've got more coming in than going there. So here's the setup, and we could do a tour later here, but I've got a tank next to each one of the generators. I'm calling them generators. I'm not sure what these actually are called. Yeah, generators. Don't know. So I put a tank there because I was thinking, okay, this thing takes 10,000 liters per human to do. So that's quite a draw. I've separated. There's a reason why there's two lines going over here. So if I was smart, I would have actually used the opposing ones instead of the same one. So I would have had both of these systems running. So what I've separated down, there's 4 pumps down there. Each of the 4 pumps is going to a purifier, and then 2 purifiers are going into one tank, 2 purifiers are going into another tank. Those 2 lines are coming up here independently. So that's the whole idea. So what you're seeing here is that this is filling up those 2, which these are probably, no, they're not. So these guys are not full either. So we definitely have a problem down below. So we're going to go ahead and investigate what that problem is. Maybe power. I see no power going down here. So in my long runs, like Exodus Station especially, I see a lot of where they just come off. So you have a save and they just poof come off, and you have to go and put them all back on again. Okay, so that goes down. Can I see how far it goes? Yep, all the way down. All right, the good news. So elevators do not stop at mid floors. You have to physically stop them. Go down, down. Press the right button. Like here. Why do I have a water problem? Because my power cable came off. So this is, it happens. So don't know what it's doing there, but okay. So this comes over here. It's supposed to be connected. It is not. So we will come forward and reconnect it, and poof, magically the pumps start working again. So that was the problem here, is all the pumps shut off. Alright, so we'll do the tour while we're here. Alright, so I guess I did narrow it down because I did a little bit of research and discovered that one pump can actually run this guy to saturation as far as I know. So they're pretty evenly matched. So what I have is 2 pumps, 1 pump for each one, and you'll notice the pumps actually work pretty well. So all 4 pumps are on. All 4 pumps have electricity, but there are only 2 pumps running. So it's basically 1 pump will keep up with a water purifier. So in this case, the pumps are set up as I think all the equipment should be. When there is not a demand, they will not run. So they're not burning electricity, and you can see that that cable is dark. So it is not, you know, burning electricity to just sit there, and it's in that oscillating yellow, which says it's ready to go. It's standing by because it does not have an output. It doesn't need to output. So I wish the diesel generator, the petrol generator, all the other items would do that. It does appear as though the Saboteur reactor does do that. So it will shut down the generator, the small generator, and the large petrol generator that are generating electricity will also shut down when they cannot output carbon dioxide. They will do that. Okay, so both of these guys are running now that we have power. Then everything appears to be fine down here. So this is my 2 branches, the 2 tanks that are down here. These are my original tanks that originally were daisy chained when I only had one of these going. So that is the water supply. You have this one. So for those of you who have not been here to Lazarus yet, there's this purifier and the 4 pumps, which all need repair. And then you'll have to do all the plumbing and electric for them. So that's part of the repair and setup. So all I have done here is add a second water purifier, plumbed everything in, and obviously you can see I'm a little OCD on everything. Originally there was one piece going across here before I put the second set in, and then power to everything, and then the 2 tanks originally that I put in, and then plumbing it all in to go out. Now the pipes here you see equalize at this, so this is 6,700 liters per hour. The other one's probably the same. These can go to 72,000 liters per hour. That's true of all of this is water, but that's true of salt water. So water is water, right? So fresh water you can run. Right now, probably it's a bug, but you could run both through one pipe. Don't know how that works, but you can do that in the game. I didn't, mostly because probably one of these days they're going to fix that. Maybe, don't know. Maybe the connections are magical and they separate everything out at either end. So, okay. Up we go. We have solved this problem. This is not uncommon to have these electric lines come loose, and you have to fix them. In fact, right now at Exodus Station, the control center is disconnected. Alright, so this is a weird thing. You gotta watch the side here, and once you go through the floor, oh, I stopped it. I stopped it a little off. So usually you end up a little high like I did there, and then you just come over here and push the call button and it will go right back to the floor. So this goes up. So you have up and down on the elevator, up, down, and stop. That's it. The call button will come to the floor. When you're on the elevator, you have to physically push the stop. So, alright, so we solved the electrical problem there. So this will recover in time. Alright, I'm a few minutes over, so rather than, we did the kind of tour below, so rather than going way over in time, we will stop here. So now that we have good flow, we'll fill up all of the tanks. So this is a good stopping point. So, thank you for watching. This is Kenty Tiger signing off, and we'll catch you next time.